In many countries around the world, the 1st of May is a time to celebrate the dignity of workers. When the day is marked in Boston, events will also put a spotlight on what's happening with immigration enforcement. Joining us to talk about what's planned locally is the Vice President of 32BJ SEIU and the head of the local janitors union in Boston, Roxana Rivera. Thank you very much for being with us, Roxana.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about how this May 1st is different from the last one.
So, obviously, because of what the Trump administration's strategy is, for mass deportation of immigrants, for vilifying immigrants as criminals, it has really put forth an agenda of hate. And so basically we are, what you're seeing on Monday is that whole communities across the state are going to be coming together to basically say, we're against this strategy of hate. We want to make sure that we're assuring that folks that the core values of our country is we are a nation of immigrants, and that immigrants shouldn't be vilified. They contribute to our communities, or part of our communities. Folks have been here for decades and contributing to their communities, and so so we're going to be out there saying we want to stop this hate. We want to stop this vilifying of all immigrants as criminals. We want to basically end this strategy of mass deportations. So all it's doing is tearing apart families, and that does nothing good for any of our communities.
What about the workers that you deal with or hear about? How are they feeling now?
So, there is a lot of fear because folks, for example, folks from Haiti and folks from El Salvador and Honduras who actually have been here legally for many decades through the TPS, which is temporary protective status. Trump has been talking about not extending that status, and so in 6 months from now, Haitian immigrants may, be forced to have to leave here, and so there is fear about what's going to happen. Folks have built their life here for many years, have their families here, and so there's a fear of folks being able, I think most about being pulled from their whole community, and for no good reason, and so that's why we are really wanting to be, there's a call from not just here in Massachusetts, but across the country, that, immigrants are here to stay because we are a nation of immigrants, and and so you'll see communities, you'll see the Irish community, you'll see the Chinese community, you'll see the Sudanese community, the Latino community come together, and in a way that this feels that all immigrants are getting attacked, not just a certain population. And so that's what makes this different. And so just in Massachusetts alone, we are having a rally at the State House at 12 noon. And this is really because the other fear, the factor that people have aside from being separated from the families, is that there's efforts to have local police enforcement or state police actually act as ICE agents. And so that does not make our community safe because people will be fearful of reporting real crime. And so we're asking the governor to support a bill that says that the state police should not act as ICE agents when they're conducting the daily business of the state in keeping people safe.
Well, that's pretty much the policy within the city of Boston and some other communities around the state. Why is it important to have something statewide?
So it's really important because it's really hard for local police to act one way and then you have state police acting another way, because a lot of times the police departments have to coordinate together in order to ensure safety for all residents in Massachusetts. So it's really important for the governor to be able to be supportive of what needs to come first in our state is the safety of all the residents. And so that's why we're going to be in front of the State House at noon on May Day.
Talk This has been on news, and we're talking with Roxana Rivera from 32BJ SEIU. Because the one thing that doesn't change on May 1st is that this is a day for workers to be visible in a big way. Why is that important?
So I think we have to, the May Day celebrates the fight for the 8-hour day, the fight for child labor laws, the fight for worker protections. And I think that it is important for us to, remind folks that, folks in this country have had to fight for all those things, and that we have to continue to be raising the issues that affect workers, because at the end of the day, their families are part of our communities. Some of the policies that Trump has put forward actually hurts families, hurts our communities, it's going to hurt our state. And so it is important for us for that day to come out and speak against that and talk and remind folks, immigrants are here to stay. They contribute to our community. They're part of our community, and we don't want whole communities being destroyed by the efforts of Trump.
We should also have you update us on one of the things that your union has been fighting for, and that is some of the janitors who were working for contractors with the MBTA. Some of them were laid off last year, or they had their hours cut back and they lost health care. What's happened since then?
Yeah. So we were able, with the MBTA, we were able to really show them the impact of the changes that they made that were so drastic, and really many families lost their health care. And at the end of the day, the MBTA wasn't getting the service that it needed in regards to the cleaning of the stations. And so they, heard us, and they heard the worker stories about, the impact to themselves, to their lives. And so they were able to take action and invest some more funding into the cleaning of the T. And so we were able to, we think will be a better quality service for all those riders, as well as folks were able to regain health care through their employer. So that was, a win-win for us and the MBTA.
Well, finally, we should remind our viewers about the State House event and some other events happening on Monday.
Yeah, so Monday at noon we'll be at the State House. Again, for a push on Governor Baker to support safe communities. It's a legislation that we'll have Senator Eldridge, who is the sponsor of the bill, with us that day. In the afternoon at 4 o'clock, there'll be marches from the cities, from East Boston and Everett, going to the city of Chelsea. And throughout the day in other cities across the state, there also will be actions on May Day to again sound out the same message around that we want to end to the strategy of Trump's, mass deportation and separation of families in our state.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Roxana Rivera from 32BJ SEIU. In a moment, this year's Walk for Hunger and some thoughts on the hunger movement.